I mean, it was a number of people after Mary died had come to me and asked about doing a pic of her, and I just said no. And it was, I think, April 2018 cover story of Vanity Fair that featured Lena, and she just mentioned as part of the interview that she'd really love to do something about Mary, and that moved me because here is someone who's coming up in the business who's completely different than Mary, and yet is influenced by her, and I wanted a new voice to tell Mary's story.
I mean, I think for me, it was really something that I initially just had to study and sort of learning about television. But then I found myself really fascinated by the fact that she was in two very important television shows and really occupied two very different spaces for women. And I really was curious about who she was, who was the woman behind these iconic characters, and reading her memoir and seeing more of her work outside of television was really inspiring to see the versatility, to see the vulnerability in the work. But yet there was this sort of wall up where I kind of couldn't really figure it out. And I think that's really where the curiosity was in terms of wanting to write a biopic at first. But then after meeting Robert and going to the house, I was like, oh no, this is actually a documentary. And so I'm grateful to Deborah and obviously James coming on this amazing ride to tell this story and to find it. And now we're here, which we're really excited.
I got really lucky to tap into those riches. Um, it's an incredible challenge to tell someone's story. Someone like Mary, I've never met Mary. She's an incredible icon, and it was intimidating at first. But the archives opened up. We spent a number of months digging in and looking for a way to express the thesis of the film. The thesis that was expressed in Mary's book. And it's a challenge to find that, but we were able to.
The journey of Mary's life from, her Laura Petrie to Mary Richards, the independent single woman with a career, still trying to have a life. And then also what happened in her own life, where she got to a point where she, for the first time moved to New York and, conquered Broadway and reveled in her own single life for the first time, at age, and then having the good fortune to meet the love of her life, in that final chapter. It's She spoke to all of us. I mean, I watched Mary in real time, when the Mary Tyler Moore Show influenced the direction of my life. And I think that the fact that the three of us, three, Black artists, have come together to make this documentary speaks to the universality of her legacy, of her importance, of, who she was.
Yeah, that was what was so remarkable about her. I mean, in the first episode of her series, they called it spunk, but what it really was energy, optimism, determination, grace, and grit. And she understood that when you pose a question to her, about difficult options, she would always say, "There's only one solution to this: is to keep going." And as you infer, she suffered terribly from her diabetes, which was diagnosed at age 33. Didn't really let a lot of people know about it. In fact, she flipped that and became a very important advocate for diabetes research and in a broad community. But yeah, she was nearly blind in her later years. She couldn't walk safely across a room, and she could no longer read. And if you know something about Mary, you know that in her heart she was a dancer. Dancing was her joy, and to have that joy stolen from her because of her loss of vision was devastating for her. Yeah, I mean, Mary said yes to a group of moms who used to just sit around kitchen tables worrying about their kids with diabetes, and who basically said BS to the status quo, with doctors telling them that their kids would have a short and horrible life. And she said, no, that can't be. And she helped the JDRF grow from an organization that was raising, I guess, $10 million a year to one that raises up to $200 million a year. They've given over $2.5 billion to research, and at least $2 billion of that was raised while Mary was their international chairman. So, yeah.
South by Southwest is an incredible amount of fun. There's so much joy here. There's so much enthusiasm. And I think this film tomorrow night is going to be an incredible treat for the audience. It's such a fun ride and such a joy to sit back and watch Mary's Life. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, I second that. I think for us, it's a huge honor to be here. I've gotten a chance to see some of the things they've been debuting at this festival, and the work is just really raising the bar and pushing the different genres forward in a really beautiful way. So I'm honored that our film could be included in this festival this year, and that people will get a chance to watch it with a group of people, which is a rare thing these days. Because our documentary will be on HBO, and people can obviously watch it from home and in the comfort of their living rooms, which is where they got to really know Mary in the first place. But I think that being here and at this festival where there is so much fun and joy and energy is actually the perfect place, because I think it represents Mary's spirit so much. So we're really honored and just super excited and really proud of it.